I'm Nikki Moore, author by the sea. I live in beautiful Dorset. I have a day job in HR and I'm published by HarperCollins. One more chapter. You see the Love London collection over my shoulder here. So today I was just going to talk about pen names. Shout out to my Facebook friend Laura Banbury, so thank you for the idea. It's an interesting one for me because I've started using a different pen name now. So I'm published writing romance as Nikki Moore, and I'm going to be published in 2020 writing commercial women's fiction as Ella Albright. So it's interesting to think about pen names really. When I was starting out and I was seriously thinking about getting published, I had a day job in human resources and I was doing a lot of casework and working with a lot of employees. And I didn't ever want anyone to feel like I might be using them as a basis for a book. And I just really wanted to have a separation between my day job and the writing. So I decided that I needed to go with something different. My first name is Veronique, and it's always been an interesting one. It's French, my mum gave it to me. And I guess over the course of my life, people can have problems pronouncing it, people can have problems spelling it. So when I was thinking about being published, I wanted to give the readers something easier, I guess. And when I was 15 and I was working as a waitress, my boss couldn't get on with my name at all. So she kind of went, well, you can be Ron for the Veron bit, or you can be Nikki because of the Nick bit. And I just thought, yeah, I'd rather be Nikki than Ron. So I was Nikki. And then there was also to consider my surname. So my aunt is Sue Moore-Croft. She's a best-selling author. She's published with Avon, who are also part of HarperCollins. And it was really important to me when I was starting out that I wasn't seen to be kind of riding on her coattails. So I didn't want to publish at that point under Moore-Croft. And again, I wanted the separation from the day job. So I kind of thought, well, I can go with Nikki Moore or I can go with Nikki Croft. Nikki Croft to me, for some reason, sounded kind of like a crime or a psychological thriller writer's name. And I thought Nikki Moore was much more kind of commercial. And I thought, yeah, Nikki Moore sounds like she might write romance. So hence, that pen name was born, and it's one that I've used for the last kind of 5-6 years of my writing career. So I suppose the thing to say about pen names is you've got to bear in mind that there's no copyright on them. So when I first started writing to be published, there were no other Nikki Moores out there. And about probably 6 months after I was published, someone else on Amazon primarily sprung up writing under Nikki Moore, writing erotic fiction, and then there's also a fantasy author. So it's worth bearing in mind that, if you're thinking of a pen name, actually you've got no copyright on it and other people can write under that name as well, which makes it really tricky for Goodreads for me because I'm forever having to ask the librarians to take, X book down. It's not under my name, it's not something that I wrote. But there are lots of reasons for using a pen name. So, for me, as I said, it was separation between the day job and the writing. So if you're going to write under a pen name, I think you have to think about what are the reasons for it, and just to be absolutely clear about that. I've never hidden who I am. When I'm on Facebook and social media as Veronique Moore-Croft, a couple of my accounts on Instagram, they talk about being Nikki Moore. And my friends and family know that I'm published under Nikki Moore. So I'm quite open about that, but it was for a specific purpose. Pen names, it's a very personal thing as well. But you'll probably find that your agent or publisher want to have a bit of a say in terms of the name that you're published under. We recently were looking at a different name for me. So writing romance as Nikki Moore, romance is very much about, there's always these two main characters, there's a love story and there's a guaranteed happily ever after. I was actually switching to commercial women's fiction with the next few books and onwards. Commercial women's fiction, it's primarily aimed at female readers. It tends to be, there can be romance, it can be built around two people falling in love. But commercial fiction tends to be more around, there are maybe some serious issues, some deeper issues that, that the book's around. It's not always a love story. A lot of commercial women's fiction, it's more like actually it's relationship based, or it's a woman kind of, getting her life back on track after something traumatic's happened. There are much kind of wider and broader issues in commercial women's fiction. So for me, the next book is a change of genre. So we were thinking, actually, let's use a different pen name, particularly as there are some other Nikki Moores writing now. So we had a careful think about it. And I was thinking, actually, let's go for Veronique. It's a nice name, it's unusual. However, the ultimate decision after discussion was, again, it's just, it is difficult for people. And some people might not know how to spell it when they're typing it into Amazon, for instance, or be unsure about asking at a bookshop. And I guess the main thing is about not putting barriers there for your readers, not wanting to do anything to stop people asking for your book or ordering your book. So commercially, we need to find something a bit different. We'd actually gone through some different kind of versions of Moore, so I was thinking All Moore, something like that. And actually I had a look and there was a Nikki Moore in America who was writing. So I was like, okay, what can we do? I've always loved the surname Bright. So actually we said, let's go for Albright. And we had to think again, and Nikki Albright didn't quite sound right. For me, it sounded really, really American. And then one of my best friends has got a daughter called Ella. And I was, as you do, being a humble author, I've got housework like everyone else, cleaning the bathroom, and I thought, wouldn't Ella Albright sound really, really nice together? So I dutifully WhatsApped my friend and kind of asked her about, would she mind me using her daughter's name? And actually she was thrilled and she was complimented. Hence Ella Albright was born. So Ella Albright is my pen name for the book that's going to come out in 2020 with one more chapter, and then the next book that I'm writing. So that pen name was around a different genre, and it was about making it easier for readers. Albright, it doesn't hurt that it begins with an A, it's at the beginning of the alphabet. Being cynical, bookstores, where they have fiction sections, they tend to do it alphabetically. So, you're more likely to be on the top shelf near the beginning. So I think I would say to you, hopefully that insight kind of helps in terms of how I've chosen my pen names and the reasons why. But there is something about maybe having different names for different genres. I've been in a couple of groups on Facebook recently where actually we've been talking about this kind of thing, and people are switching between kind of modern romance and then going into maybe historical fiction, or even branching out into crime or psychological thrillers. And actually they felt quite strongly that they need to have a different name per type of genre. Because they don't want to confuse their readers, or they don't want readers to buy one of their books and then be disappointed because it's not similar, the same kind of thing as what they last read by that author. I think there are pros and cons. I know of some authors who actually have kept the same name and actually gone into different genres. So Lisa Jewell being one of them, Adele Parks has done the same. They were both more mainstream commercial women's fiction, but it was much more about family and relationships, etc., or people in their early 20s partying and finding a way through life. And they've both gone into much more, Lisa Jewell particularly, it's kind of psychological thriller. I think the difference with her is that she was already a very, very big brand, had lots of loyal readers, and then she kind of switched over. And I think the way that they've marketed the books, particularly in terms of the covers and the titles, has been quite clever, and that it's a different kind of book to a Lisa Jewell book that you might have read, say, 6-7 years ago. There's also the thing to consider, I guess, about pen names in terms of what you do about social media. Now, I've got social media accounts under Veronique, and obviously I've got Nikki Moore, and to be quite frank, the thought of running a separate set of accounts for Ella kind of made me feel a little bit exhausted, alongside the day job and the writing and the editing. So I kind of made the decision that some of my social media accounts like Twitter and Facebook are actually going to have both names. So I say, Write Romance is Nikki Moore, Women's Commercial Fiction is Ella Albright. And that's working okay so far. We'll see how it goes. My publisher's happy with that at the moment, but it might be that I have to set up something a little bit different. When I start being able to share the cover for the new book and different things, we might make a decision that's different. But for now, we're going to try it this way. So do also think about, if you're going to have different pen names of different genres, are you going to have different social media accounts, because you are creating more work for yourself there. So just a few things to think about that today. Hopefully you found that useful. It's not as technical as maybe some of my other vlogs, but it was something that someone asked me about, so I just can't, kind of answer the question, and I'm always happy to be open and answer those kinds of questions. I just want to take this opportunity as well to say thank you so much for your support in terms of the vlog. I've had some lovely comments about the vlog. I've picked up some subscribers on my YouTube channel for it. I get lovely feedback on Twitter and Facebook. The vlog really seems to help people, and people enjoy hearing about my journey, and I'm here to share my experiences and you know, hopefully that benefits other people. So I'm going to keep doing that in 2020. I'm going to take a break for a couple of weeks. I'm wrapping up a contract with my current employer. I'm going to be obviously trying to enjoy Christmas and New Year with my family, so I will be back in January. I've got lots more topics to cover in terms of this vlog, so getting published will continue into 2020. So I'm going to take a break for a couple of weeks, and so I'm going to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope you have a lovely festive time with your family, and yeah, I will see you in January. Thanks, bye.